What happens when your Jesus is too small? Answer. You get churches like Revelation chapters 2 and 3. If you have your Bibles this evening, I hope you'll grab them and open them up to Revelation chapter 1. In fact, and you know this book of Revelation. You know that it's written by the Apostle John, probably AD 95. John is an old man now. He is in his 80s, and he is a prisoner for the gospel, for preaching about Jesus. He has been exiled to the Roman island of Alcatraz. Of Patmos. It was the Alcatraz of the ancient world. Patmos was this hunk of rock out there in the Aegean Sea, 37 miles from the mainland. John has been exiled to Patmos, and he knows he is not leaving. Nobody escapes Patmos. And John tells us in Revelation chapter 1 that it is Sunday, it's the Lord's Day, and so John is going to find a way to worship. I don't know what kind of makeshift sanctuary he comes on to on that island, but he tells us that he is in the Spirit, he is worshiping, when suddenly this voice splits the air. It is a voice so deep that he can feel it rumble in his chest, and this powerful voice commands him in verse 11, "Write on a scroll what you see, and send it to the 7 churches, to Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea." And when you flip the page and look ahead to those 7 letters to the 7 churches in Asia Minor, you quickly discover that they are churches that have underestimated Jesus. Because as you read through the 7 letters to these 7 churches, you discover that their Jesus is too small. When your Jesus is too small, one of 2 things happens. One of 2 crises occurs. The first one is what we might call the crisis of familiarity. The crisis of familiarity. You see these churches here in Revelation 2 and 3, they are shot through with worldliness. They are beset with sin. Ephesus has lost its first love. Pergamum is full of false teaching. Thyatira, full of idol worship, sexual immorality. Sardis is full of hypocrisy. Jesus says, you look like you're alive, but you're really dead. Laodicea is lukewarm. They are complacent and proud and self-sufficient. And these churches are seriously messed up. What happened? They lost sight of Jesus. They had become too familiar with him. They no longer saw him for who he really was. And listen, when you have a diminished view of Christ, it will always produce a diminished church. A low view of Jesus will always produce a low life for Jesus. And that's what we see in these churches. You see, if they had seen Jesus a little closer over here to action hero, to tough guy, the steel-fisted, intimidating figure, they never would have risked his judgment with all of this blatant sin. But no, it would appear that all they saw was the Mr. Rogers Jesus. Their Jesus was not fearsome, not dangerous. They were not left awestruck. Their Jesus, he was just kind of pleasant, accommodating. They had reduced the King of the universe to somebody who was just kind of nice to have around. And Wilbur Reese writes about this kind of attitude. He writes this in a little piece. He says, "I would like to buy $3 worth of God, please. Oh, not enough to explode my soul or disturb my sleep, but just enough to equal a cup of warm milk or a snooze in the sunshine. I don't want enough of God to make me love a black man or pick beets with a migrant. I want ecstasy, not transformation. I want the warmth of the womb, not a new birth. I want a pound of the eternal in a paper sack. I would like to buy $3 worth of God, please." And apparently that's all that these churches in Asia Minor had purchased.